Good afternoon, everyone. This is Will Mosley. I create films, podcasts, blog posts, everything in between about the creative process. I also build e-commerce web stores, trade show kits, and also brands. So, like I said, everything creative. Today, I want to kind of hone in a little bit on mental, what do I want to say? Not mental wellness, more like a lot of times it can feel like the path, the journey that you're on has no means or has no end, or that what is the point of all of this that you do. And I want to kind of talk about that because not as dramatically, and by the way, I'm pulling out of the death trap of Emergent. Okay. I want to talk a bit about that because that's been a little bit of what's been on my mind, not so heavily as in the past, but I do believe we go through a lot of waves where we feel like a crazy amount of accomplishment with waves of just kind of like feeling like what for, like the up and down of that. And I want to kind of talk a little bit about that today. Maybe I'll figure out a few things that's been going through my brain. Maybe I'll help you with something. I don't know. But the conclusion I come to when I think of when like the objective will is thinking and doing his thing is there's a few things. One is, sorry, I had to make sure I didn't press the off button. One is creativity. Like, creativity drives my happiness. And it's not something that's theoretical. It's not something that's wishy-washy. Personally, for me, my creativity of doing something or creating something, it goes hand in hand with if I'm in a good or a bad mood. That's just how I function. When I'm not creating, when I feel like I'm not doing something to the standard or to the what I expect of myself, or if I've promised to get something done by X amount of time, that pressure, that anxiety weighs on me until that task is done, and then I'll have that weight lifted and I'll feel good and whatever. But if I'm not creating, this person is like driving crazy right now, then I'm not as happy as I could be. So there's that. Then there's also the security, which I don't talk too much about on the podcast, and I probably should talk a little bit more. But I think it's always important for you to have some sort of security for yourself. Like I've told you guys plenty of times before that I love my job at New Human and I enjoy it. And it's a really good position. It's really good pay. It's really like the things that I do there are really fun, and they're helping dramatically improve an industry. And so I feel good about that work. But I also know that with anything that you should always have, I believe it's more like the 20-80 rule, where, in a different way, like 80% should be like the primary thing that you focus on, where everything is, but you also should have another 20% that you're just kind of like figuring out and doing, just so that if for some reason that 80% stops coming, you have a means of not starting from 0 but from 20, and you can maybe build that up a little bit. So I do like the idea of being able to make promotional films for you guys, or make websites for you guys, or make design assets or brands for you, because I do want to protect my family and protect my livelihood. And I do think that's key to that. Like, I get paid plenty to be able to support the family, but what if that just stopped randomly tomorrow? And so I always want to be kind of thinking about that and on the up and up. The third, which I think this is, I don't know, it's probably more over than the second one, but I just remember a young Will trying to understand and learn all these different things about the design world or about the web world, and just till recently the film world. And I really want to be able to give as much of the knowledge that I have about all those things pretty much away just to anyone that actually cares. I love the idea of someone seeing a film of mine or something, and they're like, wow, that really helped my day. That really, whether I'm talking about being self-aware or I'm talking about how to create a brand or whatever, that's really cool and that's really powerful. So there is that third tier, but it's very hard to get sometimes when you're doing well to see the ends of those means or those things that are important to you. Creativity is important to me, security is important to me, and also giving back to a community that loves the industry that I'm in is important to me too. I love like that there's creators out there, there's people out there. But then there's always like that weighing, I wouldn't say always, but I come back to like this weighing, nagging feeling like I'm having right now, where all systems are go, all things are going really well, but for some reason I still feel like uneasy, or feel like what I'm doing is just boring, or who cares type of thing. When there are plenty of people that I've seen and do care, but it just feels that way sometimes. So I don't know. It's a weird thing that I think a lot of creators go through. I don't believe I'm alone in this feeling. But I do believe this is also part of the process of growing and creating and doing. If we flash back to the beginning of the year, not even the beginning of the year, like flashback a couple months before that, I couldn't even make one vlog a week. I was just in such a low place at the time, and even if I wasn't at a low place, the amount of time and attention it takes to put in the work for all this stuff is not easy. People take it for granted. People take it like it's nothing, but as creators, we really do sacrifice our time that could be spent elsewhere to be able to produce the art, the work that we love. So, but in comparison, like in today, even with just a couple presses of a button, because I've been working so vigorously and so consistently, literally a podcast went out this morning, and a film went out this morning, and this evening at 7 another film will go out, for the Will Mosley brand. And that's crazy. You know what I mean? I should be excited. I should be like bursting with joy over that. Like, that is insane that I'm releasing 3. I used to make these posts on Facebook about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, like triple feature Sunday, or triple, like, as in, like, and it would take me so much time to create all this content to have 3 films go out in one day. But because I'm working intuitively and smart and all this other stuff, now it's not as strenuous, and I should just be like happy with all that. Just like do more and keep the flow up, which I will. But sometimes you don't feel the feel you don't feel the accomplishment of that, and I don't exactly know why. I do not know. Anyways, a few things on the docket. This is kind of going from this to just kind of a few things that are happening in my life over the next few days, and also ideas and stuff. So I've been doing. If any of you guys remember, once upon a time ago, when I was creating companies and figuring out figuring out clever business names for um, branding companies and stuff like that. I originally started with Super Amazing, which went on for a few years, and then I think I went to Start Right, which is also really good. And now I'm personal branded up Will Mosley all the way. So you hear that name, you see me, you hear me. I do think that it's time. I do believe it's time to start. What's the word? I do believe that I can do both now. Like my personal brand, Will Mosley, the Will Mosley brand, is all me. It's the exact same thing that you're seeing right now, and I'm talking about the exact same stuff. But that doesn't mean I can't also have a company, for instance, called Mosley Media that focuses on maybe creating promotions or something like that. Or even maybe bringing back Start Right. I don't know, because it was a really good name. It was really catchy. A lot of people loved the name as well. But the thing is that like there will always be for now on, like not for now on, but just forever, however, for as long as I've been doing this, there will be a Will Mosley brand, just like you hear Gary Vee or whatever in VaynerMedia. So I'm thinking Mosley Media, or maybe doing Start Right. I don't know. Just throwing an idea out there, and I'll be able to reference it back maybe later on when I decide to execute on it. Okay, after the break, I want to talk AT&T. Alright, if you need a promotional film that is just it's the epitome of the culture, like of Asheville. It's your city, it's your heart, it's your love. If you need something that encapsulates that really shows that love, I can help you out for sure. If you go over to heywillmosley.com, again, that's heywillmosley, Mosley.com, get yourself a quote, we can get started. Okay, let's talk AT&T. Oh my god, I don't ever think I've loved AT&T, period. I think I've had more of like a dislike and hate relationship with AT&T. And they fandangled their way into my life. They were clever and creepy and quick, but they made their way into my life. So AT&T, a week or so ago, ended up popping over when I wasn't home, and ended up running into my wife. And they're like, hey, look, we can do like better internet for you. It's going to be faster and cheaper, etc. All the stuff that they always say. And she pretty much was like, well, let me, let my husband know, and he'll be home at XYZ time. I typically would have just, told the person to go away. But because it was coming from the wife, I was like, okay, whatever. I'll kind of hear this out and see where this goes. The whole process was, I don't want to say funny. It was more lighthearted, weird, and identity theft too was what it all felt like, all combined. Because it was the girl, she was fun, she was funny. The situation was just weird, of just kind of talking about personal information and stuff like that. It was just kind of weird. And then I'm over here giving my social security number to someone I don't really know. This could be a person that's not really with AT&T easily. Just put on an AT&T shirt and bring a tablet and type your social security into my tablet. Oh man. So it was a weird situation, but a very long few hours later, we came to the conclusion that we wanted to do their internet and also get phones with AT&T, because it would be quote unquote bundled, and they'd waive some deposit fee and all sorts of other stuff that goes with it. And it worked. It worked for them. They got us. The next week, which was, yesterday, was when they came to install the internet. They're like, yeah, it's going to be 300 megabytes per second, and it's going to be so fast. I didn't believe not one dime of it. I was just like, well, if you can save me $10 on my current internet, I'll be happy. Which, technically, they did. But the internet speed was real. My current speed with Charter was 10 megabytes per second. And it literally was going at 300 megabytes per second. It's AT&T Fiber, I guess is what it's called. So that's sick. Really happy about that. And I do want to use this as a bounce board to jump to what could be possible that I didn't think was possible before. I didn't think of any of this previous because I was happy with my internet speed, and I've kind of accepted that it was just what it was, and it was good internet. It was good internet, But with speeds that fast, that means that upload and distribution speed just increases. That's way less time that it takes to distribute content to you guys. It means that it's way less. I can actually upload several videos extremely fast to the webs, meaning that maybe backing up my footage on a daily basis might be more sustainable than I would have thought. So I'm trying that out today. I left the laptop at home, and it's been uploading media all day long to the internet, to Google Photos backup thingy, backup and sync. I'm using the thing where they compress it and don't save they don't save the original file, just the compressed version, and they give you unlimited storage for free. I'm down with that. I'm cool with that. I'm still going to keep a hard copy of all this stuff anyways, but it'll be good to know that at least something's in the cloud. And of course they're data mining all my information too, so they're getting more benefit from all this stuff than I am, of course, but it's the world we're in right now. Now, I did mention that we decided to go with the phone service for AT&T. I'm getting an iPhone XS Max. Finally. Finally. I'm hoping that this replaces the Sony RX100 5. I'm really still distraught about my camera being broken. I just can't get over it. It's unbelievable. I can't get it out of my brain that this thing is actually broken, and I can't fix it. because it was so expensive. And I want it to work. It's good. So I'm hoping that the iPhone XS Max um, helps me get over my RX 100 depression and does an even better or equal job as what the RX 100 was able to do. And because it was like that was like my pocket camera. It was like the camera I pull out whenever, and it shot 120 frames per second. Did great. The depth of field was amazing. So I'm hoping that this XS Max can do the same thing, relatively. I still think I'm gonna try to fix my RX 100 one more time. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I can do. I really don't. I don't know if I can take it to like a camera repair store. I don't know what I should do. Period. I don't think I can do anything. I'm just hoping that one day it just wakes up and decides to work. But I know that's a long shot. Another thing, my book series. I was bragging about this 2-3 years ago. Um, Finally, the fourth book came out. It's the what is it? The Empire. What the hell is the book called? I gotta hold on. I gotta think of this. Jesus. It is the Age. Well, the book is called Age of Legend, but I think like the series is called something like the First Empire series or something. I can't remember. But this is by Michael J. Sullivan. Very good, very good author. But I've been waiting for this book to come out for like a year and a half now. It feels like, and it's going. I feel like it's gonna be going. It's gonna go by so fast. But it is good. The writing's good, so I'm happy about that. So I think that's what I'm going to do after I get off the podcast. I'm also thinking about eventually putting out a system of like early access or something. First, maybe some more of my creating film content. I don't know yet. I'd post that content to my regular feed regardless, but like some of the stuff or a lot of the stuff would be kind of what's the word? Um, the word is, I don't know, it would be released early to people that maybe want to pay for a subscription or something like that. But I do think I'm too early for that right now. But eventually I do think that would be beneficial. Because I can share the videos on, or put the videos on Vimeo and then share those on the website or whatever, and those can be like part of a membership plan eventually, and then like later on they're released after a month or so that if anyone wanted to like support me and wanted to get early access, they could. Just an idea that I'm going to have for later in the future. Nothing that's going to happen right now. Okay, as we're in stop and go traffic, I think I'm going to go ahead and get off of this podcast. Like I said, we started with this kind of talking about mental well-being and motivation. This is different than the word burnout. Burnout is like when you're working so hard that you physically are drained and have no creative energy to produce more, that you've just been producing so much that you feel such anxiety and pressure and hardcore. This is actually different from this. This is an interesting one because I'm creatively able to produce the things that I'm wanting to do, and I'm getting it out at a regular schedule, and it's not overwhelming or stressful. it's the worth part where it's like the what I'm putting out. I feel like even though I know the quality is amazing, it's great, but I'm also feeling like, oh, maybe I'm just, I don't know. It's definitely different than burnout, but I can't think of the word that um, that it is. Maybe you can tell me. What's up, cop? Okay, do I need to get over this lane? Looks like a little fender bender, maybe. Okay, I think they're okay. Yeah, I think they're okay. All right, cool. All right, remember, if you need a promotional film that captures the Asheville culture, your business, I can make it happen for you. HeyWillMosley.com, and we'll get started. Bye.